Now today I'll teach you free radicals. Now here free radical or the radical may be defined as a species. It is an species containing one or more unpaired electrons. Electron. That is called free radical. Now here, due to the unpaired electron, it is highly reactive. And the properties of the free radical is it is paramagnetic. Okay. Therefore, first I will let you know that how it is generated. That is the process of generation. Suppose A and B, these are the two independent atoms, and this undergo homolytic cleavage or symmetrical cleavage or homolysis. And now the homolytic cleavage is this one. This is a pair of electron. It may go either to this side or symmetrically distributed. When the distribution is symmetrical, for example, if it is if the distribution is like this, then it is called homolytic cleavage. And then it will generate A with one dot, dot means electron, B with one dot. Therefore, this A and B were the two independent atoms. These are independent atoms. Therefore, when it under AB and they are sharing the electrons and forming a covalent bond, and after cleavage, they are taking their own parts, they are taking their own share, and this becomes A with one electron and B with one electron. Then it is called free radical. Now you see, the main part is that before the cleavage, they were the two independent atoms, and they are sharing their parts, they are sharing their electrons, forming a covalent bond, and they are called the independent atoms. But after cleavage, they are called as free radical because these are the highly energetic species, and its nature is completely changed. That is called the paramagnetic behavior. That's why they are called as the free radical species or free radical intermediate. When the main part is that how the homolytic cleavage occurs. Number one, either you give the ultraviolet radiation, diffuse light, or very high temperature near about 300 to 400 degree centigrade. Then the bond undergo homolysis or symmetrical cleavage, and you are getting this one. This is the one part. Suppose if A and B, you were dealing this, And you see, if B is more powerful, it is more electronegative. In that case, the shift of the electron is more towards B. Then it will gives you A with positive charge. It means it is deficient by a pair of electron, and B with negative charge. It means it is rich with one pair of electron. In that case, it is called carbocation and it is called carbanion. And this is called as heterolysis. Heterolytic cleavage or unsymmetrical cleavage. Now here, this unsymmetry occurs either in the solution or you may it is not affected by the radiation, it is not affected by this one, but this type of the reaction normally occurs in the solutions. Therefore, it will generate this will generate at the carbanion or the carbocations. And it is called heterolytic cleavage or the unsymmetrical cleavage. Now, this can be in this way also, either this way or that. Therefore, A with negative charge, B with positive. Therefore, depending upon the nature of the A or the B, it will generate the carbocation or the carbanion, and that's why it is called as the heterolysis or heterolytic cleavage. Okay. Now, this is the one case, but we are dealing with the free radicals. That's why this undergo the homolysis, and the homolysis occur when you are carrying out the reaction at either in a furnace or giving a very high temperature of the radiation, either in the ultraviolet light or the diffuse light, or you can keep your reaction mixture in the sun rays. That will generate the free radical. That's why this is the one story. And now, after the reaction, the free radical becomes more energetic and it is paramagnetic. That's why it will give the paramagnetic behavior with respect to the magnetic field. Now, again, then we know that how the free radicals are generated and what are the types of the reactions which gives the free radical. That's why the next part is your types of free radical reactions. Okay. Now, normally the free radical reaction process, the three types of the process. Number one is the initiation steps. Second one, propagation. And the third one is your termination. These are the three processes by which the free radical can be generated. Therefore, initiation is it is your initiation. For example, That is the first step. Now, in this case, suppose you are having the initiation, you are having the X2, you are having halogens. Now, you are exposing the reaction to the ultraviolet radiation or giving the high energy. In this case, it will generate 2 into X radical. This step is called the initiation step. Now, once the free radical is generated, it becomes highly reactive species. That's why it is highly reactive. Therefore, cannot live for the long time. That's why it will react with the other molecules. Therefore, that is the first step. Then the second step is the propagation step. Now, there are various propagation steps. The most common propagation steps are of four types. Number one, number one is abstraction of other atom. Of other atoms or group, usually a hydrogen. Usually hydrogen. That's why this is the one step, one of the example of this one. For example, this R with one radical, alkyl radical, and this is R dash H. Therefore, it will abstract the hydrogen in this way and generating R dash radical. The another type of the free radical is generated in this way, that is what the propagation steps. And second example is addition to multiple bond. To multiple bond. Therefore, what's the R is generated in the previous case, as I told you, this R can react with any multiple bond in this way. And here it will generate this. This type, another type of the free radical. This is the second type of the reaction. And the third one is this one. That is the decomposition reaction. And what is decomposition? For example, this type of the free radical is with us, this one. That's why this can migrate in this way. And you are getting R with free radical and CO2 is liberated in this way. This is called the decomposition. And fourth, that is the important one, that is the rearrangement. It is very common in the free radical reactions. This rearrangement is that this is one type of the free radical, you know, this one. And here, in this case, this may go over here, and you are getting this. This type of the free radical is formed. And now you see it is a primary free radical, and this is tertiary. And you know the tertiary free radical is more stable than the primary one. That's why the process undergo the rearrangement. And similar to this, the last step is the termination steps. Because the free radical reactions are the chain reactions, you know. That's why in order to stop the termination, you have to remove the source by which that energy is generated. That's why you have to switch off the bulb or the whatever the source you are giving, you have to remove it. For that one, what type of the reaction will go? That's why the free radical react with each other, either with a similar radical or with a different radical, depending upon the possibilities. That's why the one of the reaction is your coupling reaction. For example, R with R, it will react with each other one electron migration, giving you the neutral molecule in this way. That's why this is called the coupling. Forming a nuclear molecule, no free radical will be there. And that step is called the termination step. And the one more thing is that the disproportionation reaction. This what is this? Disproportionation reaction is that in the disproportionation reaction, either the alkene or the alkene both are formed. This gives you alkane and alkene. Both are neutral molecule. How they are formed? For example, you are having the CH3. For example, we are having ethyl free radical. This one. And you're having the 2 moles of this one. This will give you ethane plus ethene. Now, how it comes? You see here, if you go through the mechanism of this one, then you can say H with free radical. The migration will be somewhat like this, and then we will get ethane plus ethene. Now, these are the most common termination steps, that how to get the terminal products. And in that case, you have to move towards the source by which you are supplying the energy. That's why you have to get it done. And these are the certain steps in the reaction mechanism of the free radical chemistry. Now, the one thing more which is very important for you is that one, that what is the structure of the free radical. Now, in this case, the structure of the free radical is of free radical. The structure of the free radical is this one. This is the structure. Now in the free radical, this carbon is sp2 hybridized. And naturally in the sp2 hybridized carbon, the bond angle is 120, this one. And this is the vacant p orbitals. And in that vacant p orbital, the free radical is lying.